Good evening, Ira Epstein, and here we are with your SPDR ETF stock market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for the evening of Wednesday, the 9th of August, 2023. All right, my friends, tomorrow's CPI day, Friday PPI day, but CPI is going to be important. We saw Disney earnings come out, and we saw that Disney is cutting dramatically costs. They lost subscribers. They attribute that to losing, I guess, some of the games that were playing, these sports games in India. They lost the rights to do that, and that hurt them. They're not making money in some of their streaming. There's rumors galore that they want to sell their streaming business. I don't know if that's true or not true. I would imagine at the right number, everything's for sale. And they want to go back to their core business, which is creating excitement, movies, shows, things of that nature. We'll see. Iger has 4 years to turn the company around. The drop in price has been rather surprising, but it's not just them. Rivian came out, beat all their expectations, basically. They're online to do everything well, and boom, their stock's been getting hit. I can go on and on. Palantir, they just said the beginning of the week that they were going to buy $1 billion worth of stock back. The stock is tanking, all right? So the good news seems to be weighing on the markets is the point that I'm making. Maybe it's where we're at. You know, I put out for you a special report on the stocks, all the stock indices, that is, and showed you the seasonality from August 4th right into the Christmas time frame. If it's on the website, I didn't even look, to be honest. It'll be there under iraepstein.com and research. That's where it'll be. I know it'll be off at the latest at midnight tonight, but it might be off already. I don't know. I don't run the site, and I don't check it every day. I have people that do that for me. All right. So I'm going to be doing another series report. So get ready. I don't know what I'm going to do it on yet, but it is coming. All right. So as we take a look at Netflix, you know, all of these companies that are in the streaming getting hurt a bit right here. Prime, Amazon, whatever it is, they all seem to be coming down. You can see that you're void of a trend. You have a lower low, higher high, and you're fighting a battle. So often you hear me come out here and I say, markets like to go to the 18-day average of closes to determine what they're going to do next. This is what I mean by that. When you up big, notice how you pull back and you fight. This was unusual that it went up so big and just slid through it. It finally came back and it's spending a lot of time making up for that time. This is more common. You'll come down and you fight a battle at it and you do things of that nature. Learn these things. They're very important. I teach it in my charting course on our website under the word education, Ira Epstein. Well, if you drop from here, where might you go? Bollinger Band's the logical area. If you're going to get bullish, what number do you have to take out? Two things. Can't afford to take out 526.27. And you've got to get right on over this 543. I'm sorry, did I say 426.27 and back over 443.50 immediately to get bullish. Barring that, you don't have anything. When I take a look at momentum, you've gotten out of the oversold condition. So this market's no longer oversold, but it's void of a trend at this point. When I come to Rivian, here's what I said. They came out with their earnings numbers. They're bleeding, but they got more cars that can produce more. I saw another Amazon Rivian truck today. I get excited because I do think this is going to be one of the surviving companies. But it came from here, the 15 level. It got up to the 27, 26 level. It can afford to pull back. Maybe it has to go back to the 200-day average to gather support back there. I don't know. When I take a look at gasoline prices are on fire. So we're going to have that rally into the end of the summer, last holiday, summer bye-bye, and that seems to be it. You see it happening in OIH, you see it in USO. I've been telling clients, in fact, we got lucky. We caught the USO move, bought it yesterday. Today was an interesting day if you're in my subscriber video. And that's all there in the morning. By the way, to get into those subscriber videos, see on the bottom here on the right-hand side, that blue, give it a click. It shows you how to do it. You'll get both the futures and the ETF one. And I think they're both equally important. As soon as I put them out, you'll get a notice from Facebook if you do it here. If you subscribe on our website, I send you out notice right as I publish them. So look at the battle. If XLF takes out the lows of Tuesday, probably going to wherever that Bollinger Band is, but you're in such a tight range here. I'm not looking for a breakout one way or the other. Why? You only spend 5% of the time under a Bollinger Band, the black line, and 5 over. Notice how you ran the band. You didn't want to stay over it. That's so typical of what happens. Learn to work with Bollinger Bands. And by the way, to do that, I have that course. It's very inexpensive. You'll master it this weekend if you sign up for it now. Move your cursor to the top up here. It'll take you right where you have to be, and there'll be a video after this explaining that. In XLI, are we caught between the Bollinger Band and the 100-day average? Oh, yeah, baby. What would get me friendly? And I'd be surprised, but if you get back over 109.72, I could all of a sudden have higher lows, higher highs, looking for back to the 110.82. But do I think we're going anywhere right now? To get me thinking that, you got to prove to me that you can come out of this sideways action and stay under the Bollinger Band or over it. Right here, there's no edge. And I walk away from markets like that because I'm not trying to catch the breakouts. Here's NVIDIA. Is it going to break out to the downside? You get one more day tomorrow where you make a lower low than today and you close in the bottom quarter of the range. That's a breakout. You're already oversold. To prove that you're good, you got to get back up here and get back into the Bollinger Bands well over that 425 level. That number will be a little lower tomorrow. In Coinbase, still bearish. Flirting with trying to embed. You need 3 days underneath 20 to embed. You have today a complete day of it. You had yesterday. You don't have the day before. So tomorrow is going to determine what Coinbase does, if it embeds or not, and then a whole new set of rules kick in. That's why you got to learn those embedded readings. Home builders. I told you I thought it was going to die on the vine, and I'm right. You had your run-up, and now the consolidation phase is beginning. What comes next is very important. Let's assume the CPI numbers drop a lot, and the Fed decides, I'm through with interest rate hikes. That could be the case. Will this break out to the upside? The Fed, in my opinion, will not cut rates this year. Labor is too strong. If labor were falling off the table, in other words, the jobs reports come in weaker and weaker by a big amount, and you get up to the 5%, 5.1%. Well, right now we're at what, 3.6 unemployment? You'd have to go to 4.1%. When you get a half-point move off the low, that is the trigger where economists say, oh, we're about to enter a recession. I know it sounds crazy from an all-time low. I don't buy into that completely. And the reason is there's practicality. When have we seen completely full employment is measured by a 3.6 rate, and then you go up 0.5% and suddenly the economy just threw the switch and you're in a big, nasty recession? Call it any word you want. I don't think it would be that rough. XLE, this is where you start taking money off the table against, in my opinion, at least the upper Bollinger Band. GLD, I told you I didn't like it. I still don't like it. A strong dollar is the enemy of this. You can go out and put your money into a CD, a one-year CD, and get 5.75%. What do you need to own gold for? 1 year. Gold's got a big enemy. Silver, China's in big trouble, all right? Their economy is getting deflation. The people don't buy into it. Seize policies for the moment aren't working. The economy is firing an 8-cylinder engine on 6. Economists still think they'll have 5% GDP, maybe 5.2. I think it's a lie. As I'm watching all these numbers, I would think it can get under 5% all of a sudden. They have to do something to make the economy come alive. And in January, when they lifted the COVID, that wasn't it. Number 2, they have been very effective. Their policies work great in driving America out of their markets, in driving a lot of Europe out of their markets. Yes, Europe still trades with them big, but how much trade are they doing with all the countries around them, including India, Vietnam, Thailand? Wherever you can manufacture at a low price outside of China, that's your first choice now, because the policies there have proven poor in order to run free economies. Forget the people's rights. That's not what I'm talking about. You tell the factories they're not going to work for a month. You can't deal with that. How's your supply chain as a Western company going to work? You don't want to deal with that. Yes, pandemics are rare. The one before this was what? The Spanish pandemic, that Spanish flu, that was the big event. But we saw this, it did happen. And have you seen any positives between the US and China in any manner improving? I have not. What did Biden do today? He told American ventures, capitalists, investors, you cannot put money at work in AI in certain areas for the benefit of China in any manner. So if you think this is going to get better anytime soon, even though Mr. Wang will come here, we send people there, yes, we're communicating, but it's icy cold. What about the 11 ships in Alaska that were coming up towards the Aleutian Islands? Come on, all right? So this is bad, all right, by any stretch, and it's hurting them in a big way. We're not as hurt as they are. I keep telling you those things, and pay attention to them. In the copper's at the mercy of China. Now, at some point, if I'm there, I'm going to do something in my fiscal policy to improve my economy. They haven't done it yet. That's what you can wake up to at any morning. They're famous for doing it over weekends. I'm not saying it's this weekend. They're not. Just saying what it is. But when we were up here and Goldman was saying, buy it, I'm going, oh, no. They're talking the talk. They're not doing the walk. And you are down 30 cents right away from that play. TLT, what is the market saying? The market is saying with this, maybe the Fed is through. We don't know. It may not be known until the next set of the CPI and PPI reports we get a better choice and chance at understanding what we've got here. But what we know is one thing that is working. Time is on the side of the Fed because each month that is rolling by, we are seeing price pressures fall. Now, will they fall enough in shelter? Will they fall enough in health care? We know energy prices are up, but that isn't core inflation. That is, in America, headline inflation. It is a real problem for Europe. So you've got these numbers going on that you got to pay attention to. In the dollar, it's still with an embedded reading or not. So let's take a look. Both numbers are over 80. Both numbers were over 80. Both numbers were over 80. So you have your embedded reading. Did you have it the day before? You did. So you're fully embedded. On pullbacks, via how I teach it in the course, I expect to see the buying and looking for the upper Bollinger Band as a minimum until it runs its course. And here, you're not embedded. You're oversold. Which way? If the market takes out 101.89, it'd be your first sign you don't want to be bearish this market anymore. That's where you're at. So you keep hearing me talk about these Bollinger Bands because you keep hitting them. We're there. And it's going to get exciting with them tomorrow. Tomorrow's where you're probably going to hit a lot of them, up and down, because you probably get a good reaction off of whatever the CPI does. How do you work with it? Where do you go? Move your cursor to the top here. That's where you can learn part. Take a look at the course, this video, and when you do so, just click the top or go to iraepstein.com education. I'm Ira. You have a great day. I will talk to you all tomorrow. You trade well. Take care. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time. And on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all three of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, If you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein on the road to your education.